Laura Train Mama here, and today we are looking at something slightly different. We will be reading Octonauts Above and Beyond, The Elephant Rescue. Enjoy! A storm was raging and the Octonauts were being thrown around the octopod. "Hold tight, everyone," shouted Captain Barnacles. Dashy checked the storm tracker, but there was no sign of it stopping. "Captain, there's a humongous wave headed straight for us," called Dashy. "Octonauts, brace for impact," called Captain Barnacles. "Is everyone all right?" asked Captain Barnacles. The octopod had been washed up on the skeleton coast, with desert as far as the eye could see. "Cap, come quick," called Tweak. The octopod had been damaged and the drinking water was leaking out. Captain Barnacles and the Octonauts gathered buckets and barrels to save the precious water. "Ah, all that water in the ocean and we can't drink it," sighed Quasi. "Ocean water is too salty to drink. It would make us sick," said Shellington. "Great work, Octonauts. Now that we've set up a water station, let's go and work on the octopod," said Captain Barnacles. Tweak had an idea. She could turn the octopod's arms into legs, and they could walk it back into the ocean. "Octonauts, let's do this," cried Captain Barnacles. While the Octonauts had been busy saving the water, they hadn't noticed someone taking a barrel onto the Gup H helicopter. I wonder which one of these is the start button," said the stranger. The Octonauts heard the sound of the helicopter starting. "What's that?" asked Peso. "It's the Gup H and someone's at the controls," replied Captain Barnacles. Quasi ran to the helicopter and jumped inside as it was lifting off the ground. "Stop, you scurvy thief," said Quasi. "I'm not stealing your helicopter, I'm just borrowing it. The name's Parney." "And you're taking our water," shouted Quasi. Suddenly, the Gup H dipped and flew out of control. "Do you know how to fly this thing?" asked Quasi. "Not really, do you?" Parney replied. "Not really, but that's never stopped me before," said Quasi. Quasi tried to control the helicopter, but it was too late. The Gup H crashed to the ground. Peso and Captain Barnacles rushed to the helicopter to check on Quasi. "Are you hurt?" asked Peso. "We're fine, matey," said Quasi. "This is Parney, the scallywag who tried to steal our water." "All right, Parney, just tell us what's going on," said Captain Barnacles. Parney explained that he needed the water for some thirsty animals who were travelling to the water hole. "Doesn't a water hole already have water in it?" asked Quasi. Parney told the Octonauts that the water hole needed rain to fill it and it hadn't rained in a very long time. Animals in the desert travel a long way to get water, and if the water hole is dry, they might not be able to find water anywhere else. "No animal can survive very long without it," said Parney. "We're happy to share our water," said Peso. "And we'll help you deliver it," offered Captain Barnacles. The Gup X was Tweak's toughest gup, so the team put all the water on board and headed into the desert. Parney told the Octonauts that the water would help, but what they really needed was rain. "Let's check the storm tracker," said Dashy. "Nope, nothing," sighed Parney. The Octonauts arrived at the water hole and offered a drink to 3 thirsty sandgrouse. Suddenly they heard a rumble. It was a herd of elephants. "Mabel," said Parney, "it's so good to see you again. These are my new friends, the Octonauts." The elephants were very thirsty and Mabel started to sniff the ground around the water hole. "What's she doing?" asked Quasi. "Elephants from the desert can smell water that's hidden underground and then dig for it with their trunks," explained Parney. But Mabel couldn't smell any water. The ground was completely dry. The Octonauts showed their water to the elephants. "But I'm afraid there's only enough for everyone to have one drink," said Parney. "That's better than nothing," Mabel replied. The elephants lined up to drink, but soon the water was all gone and they were still thirsty. The herd was very tired and Mabel said she felt dizzy. "Being too thirsty for too long can make you feel sick and dizzy. You need to rest. We'll find you some water," said Peso. "I know how to sniff and dig. I'll find water for everyone, and I'll do it all by myself," thought a little elephant as he walked into the desert. Captain, Barney, called Dashi. There are rain clouds on the storm tracker, and they don't seem to be going away. But the rain looked far away, and the elephants were too tired to walk. If the water won't come to the animals, then we'll just have to bring the animals to the water, said Captain Barnacles. Just then, Tweak arrived in the octopod. She had fitted new legs, so that it could walk in the sand. The elephants walked up the ramp into the octopod. Wait, cried Mabel, we're missing my little one. Captain Barnacles noticed some tracks going into the desert, and Mabel realised he had wandered away. Mabel was feeling dizzy, so went into the octopod. Don't worry, I'll find your little one, said Peso. The Octonauts, Barney and the elephants stopped the octopod when they arrived under the dark rain clouds. It should rain any moment now, said Barney. But where are Peso and my little one? Asked Mabel. Captain, look, shouted Quasi, spotting Peso and the little elephants in the distance. My little one, called Mabel. Thank you, Peso. A raindrop landed on the little elephant's head. It's finally officially raining, cheered Barney. Hooray! Well done, Barney, said Captain Barnacles. It looks like there's now a new waterhole in the desert. These animals would never have made it here without your help. I couldn't have done it alone, said Barney. And we could never have done it without you, Barney, Captain Barnacles smiled. The elephants had water, Barney had made new friends, and the Octonauts were looking forward to their next adventure. Let's look now at the Octo Report. Water on Earth. Have you ever seen a map of the world? There are big oceans and seas that cover a lot of the Earth. The water in oceans and seas is very salty, so people can't drink it. If you drank a lot of seawater, your body would absorb the salt and it would make you sick. Some animals can drink seawater. Whales, seals and dolphins can all drink some seawater, which is lucky since they live in the oceans and the seas. The water cycle. For animals that live in very dry places like the desert, rain is really important. The rain helps to fill up the water holes so the animals have fresh water to drink. All the water on Earth is constantly moving from land to the sky and then back again. This journey is called the water cycle. Water on Earth is heated up by the sun. The water becomes little drops and rises. When these little drops cool down in the air, they make clouds. The clouds get heavier and heavier, and then the water falls back to the ground as rain or snow. The water goes back into the rivers, lakes, seas and oceans. Then the whole cycle starts again. Can you smell water? Elephants have a very good sense of smell, much better than people. At the tip of their long trunk are their nostrils, which they use to breathe, smell and suck up water to squirt into their mouth. Their sense of smell is so strong that they can find water that's very far away by sniffing the air. If there is no water on the ground, elephants can use their trunks to dig for water hidden underground. That brings us to the end of this story, Octonauts Above and Beyond, the Elephant Rescue. I really hope that you enjoyed listening along with me today, and if you did, please don't forget to like the video, check you're subscribed for future stories, and have a great day.